Hello again, welcome back on my YouTube channel. I'm back again with another video. So this video was actually inspired by myself. Obviously, I was in my bed and I was like, oh my god, it was like I'm having a coordinate. It was like a lot of things was making sense about why I should make this video, and it was inspired by my past experience with a narcissistic friend as well as narcissistic parent, narcissistic sibling. So I had to be honest, I didn't know that I didn't know that I'm actually gonna make a video about this. So I was in my bed, and then the next thing I was thinking about what else should I talk about, and what actually the download that I got, it was what makes narcissist, what is common with all narcissists that you actually came across, what make them um be noticeable in terms of, like, you know what, this girl is a fucking narcissist, this girl is what and what. Because I feel like they're actually a blend of YouTube channel whereby they talk about narcissist, and so I was actually running away about opening up regarding this matter, regarding narcissist, because I felt like a lot of people are doing it, a lot of videos online, and so right now, and I'm like, you know what, I need to make this video because narcissists have a trait that are actually common. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of them that you get online, through internet, through YouTube channels, through books, and so, but I had to add my own knowledge with my own personal experience, obviously. So as I said, I'm just this video is my truth, and I'm sure my truth, there are people that actually resonate with. So I'm not for everybody, and I'm not expecting anyone to be for me. I am a grown woman and I know my truth, so I'm not expecting anyone to agree with me. So when you find yourself not resonating with my content, just fuck off. Let's just move. Just get away. Like, this is not for you. So, as I'm not for you, and I am sure there are plenty, you know, of people that are for you. So I just find it narcissistic to just come by and think that you're gonna comment about my content. So whatever, I'm not gonna just waste my energy on that. So what make narcissists to have what make narcissists to be recognized as narcissist? What is common between narcissists, different narcissists? And I realized narcissists are different. So but at the same time, with the previous one that I actually encountered in my life, I realized they have a lot of things that are actually common. One thing that I've realized about narcissists, they have narcissist boundary. When I say, we all know what boundaries is, it's whereby you expressing how you want to be treated, you expressing how you want to be treated with others, you expressing what your expectation and how other people should it's a way of communicating how other people should love you. It's a way of communicating how you expect it to be loved. So we all have it. We are meant to have boundaries. We have emotional boundaries, financially boundaries, mentally boundaries, sexually boundaries. Like there are plenty of boundaries that we actually had, even if we are communicating their boundaries. So, but a narcissist boundaries are actually different. Don't get me wrong. I remember, um, okay, the first point is a narcissist boundary. Narcissist boundary, they train you to be in a place where you cannot rely on them. You cannot, like, they want you to train to not rely on them emotionally, mentally, spiritual, sexually, financially, their time, and like, you are supposed to be available for them, but they won't be available for you. They will make for example, like you're making a call to someone to fetch like you're making a call to someone to help you with something. Like I remember one of them, my next roommate, she asked me to help her with a hair assignment, and it happened that her assignment, um what was I saying? It happened with her assignment. She wanted me to do some editing, but I didn't have a problem because I was free at that time. So, and I was like, okay. And something like that. It was something easy, and I didn't have a problem with that because every obviously she was not in, and she forget that. So it was something that was not problematic. But with a narcissist, because I remember there was this girl that I did love. Like we were friends, and I thought to myself like we're gonna be friends like for the long time because I met her in primary. So when I actually was a friend with her, it was more like I am begging to be friends with her. When I was trying to be close, she was pushing away because at the time I was not a popular kid, and I was not belonging in a cool kids club. Even in high school and my university life, it's just that I was just more alone. I just prefer spending time alone. Unless if I engage with those friends that I used to consider as friends. So whenever I try to make time with her or spend time with her or do whatever with her, she always pushed me away and was like, I didn't understand why she does that. So when I'm realizing now, it was a narcissistic boundary. But I remember when I inboxed her and I told her, I asked her something, and when I asked her something, I don't remember what exactly was, but it was something that does not need too much effort. Like it's something that I'm just asking you to, and then you're just gonna tell me about it. She was like, I hate it when you text me when you want something. And I was like, I recall like many times when I was trying to be in contact with her. I recall when I was trying to be close with her, but every time when I was like, it was like I was not wanted. So I didn't understand what she meant that I call only when I want something. I didn't understand why she meant I text when I want something, because it was actually a first time, and I didn't expect that reaction when she responded to me like that. And I think that thing is still on Facebook because I don't remember blocking her. The only thing I did, I just removed her from as a Facebook friend. So it was like a narcissistic boundary. And another person that had, I don't know whether this example makes sense. And the second time it was with someone that I was in a situation with. So that guy told me that I'm not supposed to come at him when I see him. I am not supposed to come at him when I see him. I'm not supposed to act like I know him. And since I'm not supposed to be like that, it's the only time that I'm supposed to come at him is when he said I should come. And I was like, what? You know, that boundary was wet as fuck because I'm dating this person, but when I'm looking now, it was more like a situationship. So nurses have boundaries. They have these boundaries that you never understand, and you have to respect their boundaries, but not them respecting your own boundaries. You are not supposed to respect. You are not. You are meant to support. You're meant to respect their boundaries, but you're not meant to respect. They're not meant to respect their boundaries. So it's more like it's about them all the time. The world revolve around them. So anything that you say, it doesn't matter. Your opinion, it just doesn't matter. Whenever you said something that you're opposing whatever that they said, you're gonna you're gonna get punished, whether through a silent treatment. Because I went through a silent treatment with that friend. For what? I don't know, because I tried to be close to her. It was more like I was chasing a celebrity instead of a friend, because at the time she was popular, and as popular as she was, I know her before her popularity. So I didn't understand why I had to go through that phase where I had to chase her. So eventually I got tired and I just disappeared in her life. Secondly, narcissists have a tendency of acting like they've been in present in your life for a long time. Do you know when you met, recently met someone and they act like they've been in your life like a longest time? It's called, in another word, psychologically, they call it love bombing. Love bombing. They love bomb. So for me, I use they act like they've been in your present in your life for a long time. Like they have a tendency of acting like you've been friends for a long time. You just met her a week ago, and they be like, how they act like they've been in your life. Like the reason why they do that, obviously, it's love bombing, but it's because they are not connected with themselves, right? As they are not connected with themselves, they're not connected with source. They are just empty souls. They're greedy souls. Souls that have nothing else beside us. Dark way of living. They're operating from that shadow, so they don't know anything that consists of light. So why they act like they've been present in your life is because they target you. Because I remember in the past, and I was in grade 12 and I happened to meet someone. For me, it was the first time that I actually met her, but she told me that she known me for like a long time. And to be honest, I was very stupid. So I didn't understand why I agree with her to be friends, because I felt like she did research on me in order to be close to me. She did research, research my family, she research everyone who was actually close to me. So while she was doing all of that, when she came toward me, for me it was the first time meeting her. I heard about her name, but I've never like put effort in getting to know her or doing any kind of research. So when I first met her, she actually know my name, and there was like, what? That scared me. Like, how do you know my name? Because I'm not even famous. I'm just a withdraw person. I'm reserved. I don't give a fuck about popularity. I'm just in my energy. So she act like she knows me, and then after knowing her for 3 weeks, she called me best friend. I'm like, what? That love bombing. And I was like, at the time, as much I knew there was something's off with her, but I told because at the time I thought being a people's pleaser, pleasing her, it's not gonna hurt me in the process, but it ended up hurting me. And they act like they know you, like, for a long time. Another point, they rush the shit out of, they rush you. They have a tendency of rushing. Everything with them is rushed. There's no foundation with a narcissist. There's no foundation with a narcissistic friend. There's no foundation with a narcissistic boyfriend. There's no foundation with a narcissistic sibling. There's no fucking foundation in anything that you actually build. You will realize, because I remember when I cut my sister off, she told me that, because I remember we were three of us in the room, and with my brother and my sister, I told her that I don't want us to separate when you grow, because at the time I was a kid. As much as I was a kid, I did stay true with my statement, because I remember I told her that, you know what, I need us to not separate, no matter what, no matter, even if we get angry at each other, because I was the one who suggested that, and I was the one who was talking. They just look at me and they acted like I just said something nonsense. And then when I cut it off, she said to me that you promise us to that we will never separate and whatsoever and whatsoever. Mind you, this bitch, it was taking my clothes. This bitch was taking a lot from me. This bitch was using me. And I was like, what? You know, as much as I said we are supposed to be sisters like forever, because it was just the two of us with my brother, and she said to me, she used that statement on me, and I was like, what did you do to keep us together? What effort did you ever make? I don't have anything that I remember that we actually, I said my sister was there for me. You were not there for me emotionally, you were not there mentally, spiritual, financially, or anything, but I was always there for you. No matter what, I just made sure that I was actually present with you. And she was like, oh, like she was trying to pull that on me, and I was like, fuck? She was rushing me, and as much as she was rushing me, she was also using manipulative tactics on me in terms of like I'm making a mistake because I made that promise. When I made that promise, nobody agreed with me. Instead, they look at me like I was an idiot. I was looking, and that's when I finally, like, that's when I started people pleasing them. So like over being over calm, overdoing, over caring, overdoing everything with them is because I made that promise and I wanted to stay true with my with whatever I said. So nurses have a tendency of rushing you. So for example, and I made an example with one of the friends that I met in grade 12, but she happened to know me back then and I didn't know anything about her. She know everybody, she know my family, she know ever. The reason why she rushed me is because she didn't care about me. She wanted to be close to my brother. She wanted to date my brother. So, and I was happened to be a person that she can use in order to make whatever intention that she had. And I was naive. I as much as I knew something's off with it, but I agree with whatever she was up to. And then they rush you. When I'm looking back at all my relationship, I was rushed. I'm a person who need a lot of time to think because of my lack of firm boundaries, because of my lack of speaking up for myself. Instead, I used to be quiet one. I like an introvert. I'm more are in a place where they're more likely to be taken advantage of by narcissistic in or narcissistic use people who actually are quiet. But at that time I was a quiet person and I used to be like, as much I know this is wrong, but I was kind of like, I was just not in a place where I felt empowered. I was just a not empowered. I was just in a place where I was not confident. I have a low self esteem. So I was just a target for whatever. They used to rush the shit out of me. My ex boyfriend, when I'm looking at the relationship, there was no foundation. There was nothing. There was just me being over. There was no fucking foundation. I was rushed. They told me that I'm their soulmate, and I fell for that, and that was so stupid of me. Because when I'm looking back, it was just love bombing. They were bombing the shit out of me. So another point, you feel alone around them. Nurses, all nurses, they make you feel alone around them. Whether they're in your house, whether you are in bed with them, whether they are your friends or whatsoever, you feel alone. Like you can have them in room in the same room, but you feel the fact you feel alone. You feel like you are alone, but at the same time you have a fear of losing them. I don't know how that happened, but there was a case with me. I was afraid of losing them, but at the same time I was alone. Like I didn't rely on them. They didn't know me. They didn't care about knowing me. Instead, they only care when they need something. They only care when I was able to be a supply for their narcissistic for their narcissist. So I was just a supplier for them, and I was happened to be in a place where my low self esteem, they benefit a lot from my brokenness. So it benefit them, and I was like, okay. So you feel alone. Like I remember when I was like, I don't understand why I'm still with this guy because I feel alone. Like I felt alone. Because I remember one of the time when I told him about my problems. Instead, he was like, he just make, cut the conservation. He just cut off the conservation and ended up telling that he's writing and blah blah blah. His writing won't be able to be all the time. Just making excuses, excuses, excuses. He was never there. We're friends too. They were never there. Instead, they want me to listen to them. I had to be their therapist. I had nobody that I had to talk to. So I was just a person that was actually available for their narcissistic supply. I was available for their venting. I was available for a lot, but they were not even there. So I was always alone. I felt alone. So when you have narcissistic friends or whoever that you're being around with, all narcissists will make you feel alone. You will feel alone. You won't have any kind of support from them, because initially I mentioned that narcissists have boundary. Narcissists have their own boundary. They don't have a boundary that you can um normalize. Like, it's not a normal boundary. It's their boundary. As I said, you are not supposed, like I made an example that you are not supposed to, but at the same time, as much as they made those boundaries, for example, you're not supposed to be financially dependent on them or whatever, but when you're with around them and they're with their friends, they act like they're the most caring person. They act like, how, why you didn't tell me that, like, why you never said that? Oh, you just so quiet. You're supposed to talk to me like that. And I'm like, what? But I told you, you told me that you're busy, you told me that I shouldn't bother you with this. You end up having excuses. You never even listen for 2 minutes. You just disappear on me, you know? So they act like that. Because I remember my ex wanted me to come around every time that his friend were there. And because I'm not a person who pretend to be happy when I'm not, so I didn't bother by being present. So I got punished a lot because of that, because I didn't understand why I'm supposed to go there. This guy is treating me awfully, private, and I'm supposed to show up with a huge smile. That was not my cup of tea. I'm not a pretentious. I don't like being pretentious. So I avoided I avoided whenever we had to do gathering. And I remember one of his friends used to make a comment like, "Why are you never happy? Like, you're not smiling or anything." And he was right. I wasn't. I was not happy. But now I smile a lot. So when you're around narcissists, you feel heavy energy when you're around them. When, especially if you're a spiritual person, you experience headache. You have headache. Like, you experience headache. You experience like a lot of tension in your body. You experience a lot of pain in your body, especially here in your throat chakra. You feel like your throat, you can't speak. You have like, there's a lump in your throat. You feel like you can't speak. You've even if you want, like you become awkward. You become extremely awkward around them. You feel like a robot. You feel like you stutter a lot. You um I'm talking about people. This point will make sense to people who are actually spiritual. You stutter a lot. You will become awkward. You become nervous, extreme. Not just nervous for the sake that you are doing something for the first time. Not being nervous because you're asking someone to go out on a day. It's just that you feel awkward. You stumble. You stumble your feet. You just make a lot of mistake when you're around them. You just feel so heavy. Like, there's a heavy energy, headache, tiredness. You just get tired. Even if you had sex with them, you feel so tired. You feel like you had, I don't know, you just wasted a lot of energy. You just, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know whether someone's gonna understand me, but your throat will feel so dry. Even if you want to speak, you can't speak. And whenever you are about to speak, they give you that look that don't you dare. You like, your throat becomes so, that's why you find it hard to be yourself around narcissistic people. It's when you are a person who's genuine. You can't be yourself around those people at all. Like, your throat become like, you can't like speak. Your energy, you feel like you carry a lot of baggage. Like, you carry a lot of things. You you look old. You even look old. Like, you don't understand why you look the way you do. Because I mean, I'm looking at my old pictures with a lot of people. I'm like, what? Like, there's no blood in my skin. I look so pale. I don't seem have to have a blood. My face, like, I'm not the prettiest woman on earth, but when I'm looking at the old pictures, my body was the only thing that makes sense. my face, like I used to like, yo, like it was bad, like it was so bad, like even it took me like 2 years to finally look at my old pictures and be like I had to be in a place where I forgive myself. It was hard because I was so hard on myself, and I was not forgiving myself. It was not easy for me to forgive myself for the choices that I made in friendship, romantic, and all of that. So when I'm looking at my pictures, I look so depressed. Like I am so fucking depressed. Not none of the pictures that I ever made that I show a happy face. I didn't smile. There was no picture of mine that was actually smiling. But that was not the issue. Like when I'm looking at my face, I look somehow my face look different compared now. Like I'm like now it's just that I'm having a hard time sleeping. I'm having a hard time sleeping. Like I don't know whether I'm having anxiety or what, but I'm just having a hard time. But hopefully it will pass. So as I said, you feel heavy energy, like you're carrying a lot of energies. You feel a lot. You're having a lot of constipation. Your stomach become tensy. You feel like have energy in your tummy. You just, because I remember they used to make the jokes. They used to bully me for that. I was so awkward around them. I used to stumble. I used to be looking like an idiot when I was around them. When I was around them, and when I'm looking back, why I'm and I remember questioning myself. Like I'm not like that anymore. But when I try to be around narcissistic people, I just lose my energy. Not because they are powerful or anything. I don't feel mm, I don't feel being myself is actually pop up. It doesn't. I don't become myself when I'm around them. It's become hard. I become like hard for me to speak. I just tensing up. My body just tensing up. I become awkward, as I said. Anything that come up in my mind, I stutter a lot. It was bad. I used to even think that I actually have some sort of a disease, because I remember they used to make jokes like about the way I was, the way I show up. So I used to think that I have serious issues. But eventually, when I realized I was a spiritual person, I was around people who have dark energy, and their energy was heavy, and I used to eat a lot. The reason I used to eat a lot, it was because I was not eating for myself. I was eating for them in a one environment. I was their energy was very much in my energy. My energy field was very much in their energy. So it made me being more like I was eating because of my anxiety, not because I was hungry. Because I remember when I was a kid, I was not that much of a eater. And right now, I'm just being healing from that. I realized I was not eating from ever since I asked myself. And every time I do a ritual when I'm about to eat, I stay away from TV when I'm eating, or laptop or phone. I try to eat and be present. I realize my tummy just get full fast. It's just that at that time I was around energies, so I used to eat because of my anxiety, and I used to experience constipation a lot when I was around them. But eventually, certain food does cause constipation, and when you're eating fast, and when you're eating because I said I was always tensing. When you're tensing, you're more like to be have constipation. You more like to have some stomach issues, because you carry energy in your tummy as much as you carry energy with wherever, especially when you're a spiritual person. And my headache, I no longer experience headache unless if I am around wrong people, because I sometimes being in the wrong place, I experience those body pain whatsoever. And this point is actually makes sense to people who are actually spiritual. You become awkward, you become like a robot. You stutter a lot, so this is something that you should not ignore whenever you are around narcissist. Your voice, we become voiceless. You don't have any kind of, because eventually they train you, they want you to be in that place, but at the same time your body will react like that the first time interacting with them, because then what happened when I was interacting with them, I was that person. As much as I was a reserve, I used to speak my mind, but whenever I was around them, I didn't have confidence at all. It was awful. um Another thing that makes narcissists to be common, they always take credit for other people's spotlight. For example, when you are having whatever, the spotlight is on you, it's always gonna be about them. They just gonna turn everything to be about them. When for example, when is it Britney Spears, when she was talking about her abuse from her parent, from her dad, as well as her sister, Kim Kardashian turned everything to be about her. You know, she just started Britney, and the next thing is tend to be about Kim Kardashian. And a lot of people call her out because they know that, hey, she's a narcissist, so you can't hide your narcissism. Like, you, if you're a narcissist, you can't hide it because you are so obsessed with it. You are so obsessed with popularity. You're obsessed with to be everything to be about you. That's what narcissists do. So I remember when I was graduating, I think I mentioned one of my videos, when I was graduating as a university student, I didn't feel felt like the graduation was about me. The graduation ceremony was about me. Instead, I felt like it was about that woman who gave birth to me, and she was always acting like it's her. She was all about, oh, it's because of me, oh, it's because of me, like, oh, what the hell? What was the point of the ceremony? Why it's all about you? You know. So they always take trade, because I remember one thing that I actually wrote on Facebook. I think it was 2019, and I mentioned that I cut a lot of my toxic friend in 2019. So I had no friend from 2019 June up. I was already done with those energies. So I was just done being in a place where I'm not being appreciated, not being loved for who I am. Instead, I'm being loved for wrong reason. And not that I was being loved, it was just another way of being taken advantage of because of my quietness, of me being understanding of me, so eventually I had to let them go. So I'm just gonna make example about what I wrote something on Facebook. There was actually psychological, it was more like a psychology kind of thing when I was explaining something, and that post got popular. Like, it got a lot of likes. Like, I didn't expect that, at all. And then the next thing, a friend that I stopped talking to, that gave me those boundaries, that every time when I'm trying to be close to her, because at the time she was popular, that post got popular. That girl ended up commenting on that post, and that post, she ended up talking as if she wrote all of that. And I was like, what? She made the post to be about her, and I was like, what the fuck? But at the time, as much as I was still like, I was still around them, a lot of things was not clear, and I didn't see the community, like what made nurses to be common. It was more like, what the hell? I knew there's something's off, but like, what the hell? Like, she made that comment, she was responding on the comment section, she was doing everything on the comment section. I was like, what? So the spotlight, it's always about them. They took take credit. So that what happened when you have a narcissistic friend. Oh, another point, they have a gift to make you feel like shit. Recently, I've listened to one of tarot reader on YouTube. She said to me, she said, because it was a public one, it was a public thing, public video. She, in the video, she mentioned that, I don't remember who that tarot reader was. She said, they made you feel like you are not there. These people, they made you feel like you are not there, you are not existing. They made that on purpose. It was something that they are doing. They know that you are there. They know that you are a person. You know that you are a person who deserve to be uh, loved. They know that you are begging for them to love you. They made that on purpose. Like, I'm not. She didn't say exactly as I'm saying, but she made something like they know what they did. Because at the time I was kind of like, no, maybe I should appear more. Maybe I'm actually invisible. So they made you invisible to the point that you believe that you're invisible. That's what I believe, because every time I felt like I was invisible. They, like she said, they made you invisible because they knew you have a lot of light. They were trying to dim your light, to not even recognize your light. So when I'm saying narcissists make you feel like shit, they know your worth, but they want you to feel like you don't have the worth. You have supposed to beg with your worth to them. You're not supposed to own it. They're supposed to tell you this is your worth. This is how you work. This is how you're supposed to show up. You're supposed to show up invisible. You're supposed to not making so much noise when I'm around. You're supposed to, whenever I said, come, you know, they know what they are doing. They made you feel like shit. It's a gift to them. So whenever you are around narcissists, you feel like shit. Obviously, there are a lot of people who are actually horrible, who have narcissistic tendency, but narcissists have one thing in common. No, no, not one. A lot of them, because I said a blend of YouTube channel, but they make you feel like shit. They want you to be there. They want you to beg for their love. They want you to beg for everything. They want to act like you are invisible, even if you are not. Because as I said, I started believing that I'm supposed to be invisible. I'm not supposed to show up that much. I'm not supposed to be whatsoever, because they want me to believe that I'm supposed to be invisible. So narcissists have a gift of making people to feel like shit. So when I started my YouTube channel, some comment that comment that were nasty, that I had to let go of. Obviously, my YouTube channel is not yet there, but I received a lot of comment by mean people. So I think now there's only one comment that I actually let it be. And when I received those comments, people who commented are those people who are against what I'm actually speaking, because they don't want me to talk my truth. And a lot of people who actually watch most of my video about narcissist are narcissist, and they're trying not allowing me to speak about this. They want me to shut up, and I'm not gonna shut up, because this is something that I had to deliver, and a lot of people need this. Whether you like it or not, I'm just not gonna stop because you are trying to make me shut up. I had a tons of it. I spend a lot of my time, my years being told to shut up, and I'm not gonna do that. You can try as much as you want. I'm just gonna let you be. But I'm not gonna stop, because nurses hate it when you're having content, you share content like this, because they are still in a place where they want to manipulate other people. So hate to they hate other people actually making awareness about narcissistic. A lot of people that I actually follow who talk about narcissistic, they've been crawl a lot. So they warn me about when I'm starting to make this comment that I shouldn't stop, just because people who actually feel like they're being exposed, um as they're being exposed, they hate it that they're being exposed, so they're trying to make their problem my problem. Just because you're being triggered, it's all on you. I have my own responsibilities. I deal with my own problems. I don't going around trying to make other people's projecting my problem on other people. People are meant to deal with their own problems. Your triggers are not my responsibility. You have your a whole fucking responsibility to help on your triggers. I do get triggered, but I'm a person who actually own their BS. I own my business. I own my shit. So I don't understand why people they think it's okay to go around projecting, but I understand being low vibrational. It's okay with you. So I'm just gonna let you be. So another thing, another point. Narcissists search anyone that boosts their popularity, status, their narcissistic supply. This is another point that make narcissists to be common. They're constantly searching for people who are popular or people who boost their popularity. You can be not be popular, just like me, but because I was available for the narcissistic supply, that's why I was a target. And a lot of people know so much about my family. My family is actually popular in the town that I grew up in, but I was the one in the family who was not popular because I was more like isolated. So I used to post a lot of people for status. As I said, my parents were popular for whatever they were doing, their career. They are popular for their career. People know them because of their career. So I used to help them to post their status. And I said I mentioned that there was a friend that happened to know that did research on me, and before they acting like they're my friend, so he just wanted to be close to me because he wanted to date my brother. So it was more like I was available for the narcissistic supply, was also available for their status. And with popularity, that's why you find narcissists when you're trying to be close with them, especially if they are friends or lovers, you feel like you are chasing them because they are actually feel like they're celebrities, you're chasing them and they are not there. The reason why they're not there, why you feel like you are chasing them and your chase is exhausting, is because they are searching other people that they can use for their whatever, for their popularity. Narcissists always search people who actually from popular. Because I remember I mentioned that that friend that was popular in high school, from yeah, she was started being popular in high school to university years. The reason why she was popular, when I'm looking backwards, she used to post girls that are actually popular, that are well known. I remember those girls who were actually well known. They're well known for their brains. They were actually smart. She was not bad in academic. She was just average, but their friends were actually known for their academics. They are known for their brightness. They are how smart they used to, how smart they are, and they were just known for that. They were not in clothes whatsoever. And there was also she made another friend because of how much she put her clothes, how a sense of style. She used to wear so nice. So like they always said people who actually boost their popularity, who people recognize, or people that they know. They're always searching for that. You know, they're obsessed with popularity. They want people to know them. Just like Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian is an example of a narcissist. As much now she's popular for her, I don't know, whatever. I think man, she's now a businesswoman, but before she used to stalk other people who are actually popular. She knows how to make herself be popular, whether she use other people to be popular or whether she make a publicity stunt in order for her to stay relevant. So she used to be in that energy, in that energy, in that energy. She's just an example of a narcissist. She does this and this and that. Obvious narcissists care about how they look, but some they don't, because when you have to look good, you have to put effort. Narcissists hate putting effort in anything. They just wanna take. That's why you find a lot of nasty boss who don't put effort. Instead, they exploiting one of the employee that is actually work hard in a working environment. They exploit their employees, or whether exploit whoever that is available for the necessary supply, whoever who is available for whatever that they want. So this is about why that is actually the case. So The reason why they didn't want me to leave as their friend is because I was still a good narcissistic supply, but I was not popular. As much as I was not popular, that what they did, they didn't want me to leave. When I was disappearing, they act like they care, and I used, because I was in a place where a bare minimum, they try me to appreciate a bare minimum. So whenever I was receiving from them, it felt like I'm just receiving like a big gift, something that I'm supposed to be receiving without going through what I went through in order to receive it. So that what happened. When I'm disappearing, they reach out. How are you? Hey, they act like and then the next thing, here I was in that cycle again. And eventually, I finally get it. I finally, like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with operating from this energy. I am done with overdoing. I'm done with overdoing. I am done with them acting whenever I'm actually disappearing for my mental health. They text and probably like 3 lines, like hi and hey, how you, I'm good, and you, oh, I'm, oh, okay, and the next thing it's done, like what? Okay. Eventually I stayed, but eventually I stopped. So yeah, that what this video is about, what make narcissist to be common, what is common with narcissist. What is common with narcissists, it's something that you should be aware of, because narcissists, they don't just become your lovers only. They can be family, they can be um, friends, they can be whoever. Those people who act like they've been there for you, those people who rush you, those people who have narcissistic boundary. Like for example, when a father walk away from her family, that is a narcissist boundary, in terms of like, I'm walking away, so you're not supposed to be dependent on me. But the next thing, when I become popular, the next thing that my business prosper, and then what? You are my father now. Like that, like that. And because now you are popular, now you have money, now you have everything, now they wanna reach out. That's what my father did. He reached out, like, what did you walk away? You told me that I don't, not your child. Like, things like that. You, like, okay, I'm just gonna recap on what I wrote. Narcissist boundary. First point was a narcissist boundary. They act like they've been present in your life for a long time. They rush you. Um, you feel alone around them. You feel heavy energy when you are around them. Your throat become dry. You become awkward. You become like a robot. You are just feeling empty. When I say your throat become dry, it's because it's become tight. Your throat become tight. Um, Another point, they taking your spotlight, trade it. They have a gift of making you feel like shit. They search anyone that boosts their popularity, status, narcissistic supply. But the point that you feel heavy energy when you're around them, and your throat become tight, you become awkward, you become like a robot, you we feel like stupid. You feel like so stupid. It usually happen when you are a genuine person, and when you are actually a spiritual too. It happened a lot, because I remember I'm not the first one who actually mentioned this point, and it's because they are not authentic people. You are authentic people. So now you carry those energies. You have a headache because you feel heavy energy, because they're hating you, they're cursing you. As much as they're smiling on your face right now, they're cursing you. That's why when you look at a narcissist's face, when he or she's speaking, you can tell their eyes say another thing while their mouth saying another thing. their whiteness sister. They will say, "How I love you," but their eyes saying another thing. So you should be careful. For example, I've realized when I watched one of my cousin the last time I cut him off, his eyes were so evil, like so evil. So the narcissists are actually like that. I'm gonna repeat those point again. They have narcissist boundary. They act like they've been present in your life for a long time. They're rushing you. Um, you feel alone around them. You feel heavy energy when you're around them. You become awkward, robot, whatsoever. Search anyone that boosts their popularity, status, narcissistic supply. They have a gift of making you feel like shit, taking your spotlight credit. I think I've mentioned all of them. So thank you guys for watching, for loving my content, for viewing. I really appreciate. I'm actually tired. My eyes are so tired. I wish I can sleep longer. Thank you for liking, for sharing, for viewing my content. I really appreciate. Bye.